What's one of the hardest DIY projects to do while having a pinched nerve in your neck? A new patio! I know this video is taking forever to come out and I haven't even started any work yet. If you're new here, my name is Marcel. My plan is to put in a much bigger paver patio in our backyard, but my body has decided to betray me and now I have a pinched nerve in my neck.
Oh my God.
Yeah, I know. My doctor told me that I can't do a lot of heavy lifting, so I asked Ben to help me out on this one. Like, more help than usual. You might have already seen the video where I put in a patio for the fire pit area, but if you haven't, I saved all those pavers to reuse on another project, and this is it. They're different shape, color, and size, but I didn't want to just throw them all away, so I'm giving them a new life. Plus, they've been sitting behind our garage in a pile for like over a year, so I'm really happy to get rid of that so we don't look like white trash anymore.
Ooh.
I'm going to give them a good cleaning with a power wash, and then I'm going to stain and seal them, and I think that'll be a pretty good match to the pavers I already put in. So before I start to bore you with all this talking, let's get to it. First thing that needed to happen was for the rest of those old pavers to come up. I was really happy to see all these go. Then I got to power washing. There's over 100 of them, so this took a minute. Once they dried, I got to priming so the stain would adhere better. I used this concrete one by Bear. Then it was a coat of the solid stain to cancel out that pink color. The shade I used is called Storm. The solid stain was great for coverage, but the color was a little flat and sad, so I did a coat of translucent stain to give it a little bit more depth. This in the color Slate made it look exactly how I wanted. And finally a coat of sealant to protect them. I'll link all these in the description box if you want to check any of them out. While that was drying, I started measuring the dimensions of the patio. We wanted it big, so it ended up being 12 by 14 feet. Once I had those numbers figured out, I put some stakes in the ground to mark it, and some string to see the shape. Then I created a perimeter line with a flat shovel using the string as my guide. Ben got stuck with the worst job. Removing sod is literally terrible. It's so hard. While he did that, I put in landscape edging where the old walkway was, so the hostas had a proper flower bed. I like this stuff because it comes in a big roll and you just cut whatever size you need. Good stuff. Then I started putting the sod Ben was removing back in the ground. We decided we didn't need a walkway and would just have grass. The maple tree roots make the ground so wonky, so this was the best solution. We got a hole. Ben already dug it down to 6 inches and squared off the edges, so now it's ready for the next step. I put down a layer of weed barrier to hopefully avoid weeds popping up down the road. Then it was more landscape edging to keep everything nice and clean. I staked these down on all 3 sides, but didn't really need it on the foundation of the garage. Then it was time for the first layer of traffic bond to help with drainage. Ben unloaded and I spread it out with a rake. After that, Ben tamped it down to compact it and make it as level as possible. And then it was the sand. It's trickier spreading this out since I didn't want to disrupt the gravel underneath, so I used a scrap piece of wood to spread it, and then gently moved it around to make it more level with the backside of my rake. I used a 2x4 and a 4-foot level to make it as level as possible since this is what the pavers would be laying on. And from there it was just laying out all those pavers. I spaced them out with a couple 1x3 pieces of wood to keep all that spacing consistent. The key to having even pavers is using a level a lot. You gotta shuffle them back and forth into the sand for what feels like forever to make the surface match up. It's tedious and takes time, but you gotta make these as level as possible. I do want to mention that I laid these with a slight pitch away from the garage for drainage. Once everything was in place, I put the pea gravel in all the joints. A push broom makes easy work of this part. Then I sprayed off all the dust and let it completely dry. After that, I used some mulch anchor to lock those little pebbles in place. There's nothing worse than loose rocks on a patio, in my opinion. All right, the patio is officially in.
Thank God.
I still have to do a few little things, but once that's done, this project will finally be finished. I wanted to get some plants in the flower bed next to the patio, so I dug some holes. It was so hot while I was doing this. The plan was to move some hostas from the side of the garage since they're so hardy. Our neighbor also offered us some of hers to plant, so I took her up on it. This is why I love Milwaukee. It's got good people. Then I just replaced the ones that I took out with a few from a cluster we have in our front yard. And the finishing touch was adding some black mulch to both flower beds. Then it was time to finally bring in the furniture. I bought these loungers over a year ago, so I was pumped to put them in an official spot. I also got this cute little coffee table. It needed a plant, so I bought this succulent from Stein's. And I also found these teal concrete coasters on Etsy. I felt like this corner was missing something, so I got this chair from IKEA. It's not really made for the outdoors, so we'll see if it holds up. This big pot was going on the other corner, but I didn't want to have to fill the whole thing with dirt. So I stacked a couple 20-inch plastic saucers and drilled some holes for drainage, added a few bricks for support, and filled it with soil. I used one bag instead of two, which is way less heavy. Then Ben wheeled her on over to her new spot. I still made him do the heavy lifting. And I had to add a little kitsch with this flamingo. We did it! What do you think?
I'm really happy with how it all came together. The furniture is all super cute, and I really love this like last minute IKEA chair edition.
Was there anything that was like harder than you expected?
I mean, honestly, doing the filming.
Shut up.
I think definitely the sod.
Yeah.
Like removing it, I was like, oh, I can do this.
Mm-hmm.
But when I started doing it, I wanted to die.
Yeah, well, I appreciate everything you did for me, boo. Let's take a look. I'm so glad that this is done. It was a rough one for me. I'm used to doing most of the work myself, so having to rely on Ben for a lot of this was a challenge, but I think we make a pretty good team. Despite everything going on with my neck, I think it turned out pretty good. I like how the stain on the pavers goes with the fire pit patio. They're sisters, not twins.
Hi, sisters!
But there's definitely a flow, and now we have another usable space in our backyard. Anyway, thanks so much for watching. If you're still here at this point, I would definitely love to hear what you think, so let me know in the comments. Or if you have any questions, feel free to leave them there as well. And yeah, I think that's it, so I'll see you soon. Bye. All right, we did it. What do you think?
I'm not ready.
The chipmunk. Oh, great. A crying child, exactly what we need right now. With the wind, let's just add a crying baby. Why not?